All right, now let's look at the end of the story. It's so beautiful to me. And it makes me cry because I think of myself so many times when I get distracted. But here he is, verse 10. They all come and they pull the fish in, and they're feeling sheepish and feeling like losers and, failures, and Jesus said to them, bring some of the fish you have caught. We need supernatural. Jesus wants what we have. Partnership. Supernatural partnership. You may feel we're not perfect, but you know what? He can't do it without us either. We need supernatural partnership. Jesus touched all he could for 3.5 years, and then he left the remainder of the task in the hands of his followers, and that's us. Today he continues his work through the life of his followers. So we work where we can, when we can, tirelessly, then entrust the exponential multiplication to God. We are a people of signs, wonders, and miracles. We've got to hear his voice. We've got to have divine perception on what we need to do. Each one of you need individually divine perception. We're not just a religion. We're not just a Christian religion. We are a people that believe and know beyond a shadow of a doubt that we have got to have God's miracle hand at work. There are too many people that need to be healed. There are too many people that need to be delivered. There are too many people that need for us to be flowing in the Spirit. We received a call. My husband had a swelling in his abdomen. My children were small. So it's been many years ago in one of the churches we were pastoring. And there had been a viral infection that was going around, and we had made an appointment with the doctor, and they figured that's what it was, a swelling abdomen and everything. So the poor thing, he's bent over, and he can barely even get on his clothes. And believe it or not, I'll just go ahead and say, by midnight that night, he was having an emergency appendectomy because it was actually appendicitis. They had misdiagnosed. But we didn't know that at the time, and we were headed to the doctor, and I received a call. And it was one of our elders, and she was just hysterical, and all the commotion in the background you could hear. And she said, my son, Kenneth, he's writhing all over the floor. He was doing throwing furniture everywhere. And she said, he's demon-possessed. I don't know. My husband said, well, has he been drinking and doing drugs? She said, I think maybe so. I don't know. And he said, well, why don't you y'all just pray over. Well, we tried to throw the Bible on him, and he threw it everywhere. Sometimes people don't know what to do. I don't see any scripture where it says throw the Bible on somebody, so y'all don't try that. I don't think it works. Anyway, they were freaking out. They were scared. So my husband, I said, well, he's just very sick. And we can't come. But I'll tell you what we do. I want you to just y'all quietly, just quiet down and begin to softly pray and just see what God will do. Well, they called us back 2 or 3 minutes later, and they were still freaking out. So we said, we'll drop by on the way to the doctor's office, and so we did. Now, understand that God will prove to you how powerful he is, and it's more for your benefit a lot of times than anything. So here I am, my husband. I'm this little skinny, bony thing. I have gained weight since then, but I was a little bitty stick. And here is my husband, who is bent over, barely can get in the house. We can't wrestle this guy. Sure enough, he's got the furniture thrown everywhere, and he's writhing around the floor, and he's growling, and he's cursing, and he's saying what he's going to do to us. Now, he did not even know we walked through the door, and he starts saying things that only the devil could say that would know that we were standing there. And my husband, God bless him, and he's limping over there, and he squats down because he can't wrestle the guy anywhere. So he squats down. Like I said, his furniture thrown all over the place. And the mom, I start trying to calm them down, and my husband starts to read out of the Word. He begins to read about the Lamb that was slain from the foundation of the world, about the power that's in the blood of Jesus, in a very soft voice. And I began to sing that song. I see a crimson stream of blood that flows from Calvary. Its waves reach the throne of God. They're sweeping over me. I might have gotten through half of the second chorus when all of a sudden he began to cry and he began to pray and he said, "Where am I? What has happened to me?" I'm telling you, we didn't even touch the guy. And the devil couldn't stay anywhere near us. And here I am, a little bitty stick. My husband is over there in an incapacitated state. And the devil and us in our weakest, the devil at his best couldn't even stay within 100 miles of us. He had to leave that place. I'm telling you that the Lord is on our side and He has just begun. We're not even through with this book. We've got many chapters that are yet to be written, and every chapter that's going to be written, the chapter this week, the chapter next month, the chapter next year is going to be peppered throughout with signs, wonders, and miracles, because we are a people of signs, wonders, and miracles. Now, I would like for you to get out your maps. We had a few years ago decided that we wanted to multiply to Mandeville. And we knew that, we had to do something in our local community because we were going to have about 40 or 50 empty seats in our church. And so we said, well, at the same time that we're multiplying to Mandeville, we need to start praying over the 5 to 10 mile radius around our church. Now, you have to know that for 30 years, we had had no breakthrough in our community. We had built a church and filled up a church that seated 300 people. We had about 325 at the time. And we had hardly no people from the community. The only people we had from the community were people that had been converted years before us. It just kind of everyone knew who we were, decided that they were not going to be a part of us, and the people we won were from the outlying areas, in the hospital, co-workers or whatever. But I'm talking about the community families had determined, I'm this religion, that religion, and I'm not Pentecostal, and I'm not going there. Well, we got out our maps. We assigned roads. And the first thing we said before we tried to do anything, we were going to have prayer journeys. And so we began to assign some of the roads, and at prayer meeting nights, we would ride up and down these assigned roads. We ask our church families, as you're on the way to work, pray and plead the blood and ask God for a breakthrough in this community. We also said, would you take a detour sometimes, maybe just a detour to a different road and pray. On your way home from work, go one way. On your way to work, go a different way and pray. Because we're going to saturate this area with prayer. We did this for about 6 months. We would then go into places of influence, like in our area, it would be the fire department and the school and some of the places of business where a lot of the gossip is exchanged and a lot of influence is exerted. We're in a rural community. So we went to the places that we felt was the seat of the influence in our community. We did that for about 6 months, and then we started our campaign, and I've told you the story Friday about the school, how the Lord opened that up for us, which was an amazing miracle, and I know it was directly connected to the prayers that we prayed on the parking lot at school after hours with our maps. Well, then it's been started maybe about a year after that. We multiplied to Mandeville, and then we saw just a trickle. Like there was a family that came that was from our community, and we're like, wow, man, awesome. You know what? That was from us praying over those maps. We got so excited about it. Well, a few months later, there come another family from our community. We're talking about a community, a place where we had never broken through our community. Well, then